Hi everybody, I'm back. Today we are going to make these cute little snowmen. Little wood rounds stacked together to make snowmen. I have a few more, let's see if I can zoom in, that I have made. I've been calling them my sewing room buddies. So I just finished Santa Claus. I still have a few little things to do with him. And this one is going to be Mrs. Claus. So to do this, I used some dead pine branches that our goats had eaten and had my husband cut them about a 1/2 inch thick. A few of them are a little thicker. I was just experimenting with different bases and whatnot. So to do this, you need 4 of them, and obviously graduating in size. And then this one here is actually the same size as this one because I had a ton of this circumference size branches, so that's what I opted to use. You're going to need a piece of sandpaper. The grit doesn't matter. I put mine in these disposable pie tins. I reuse the pie tins, and it kind of contains the sawdust a little bit better for me. And I already glued these together because I had tried doing this video a little while ago and my phone died. And they were already glued. So I'm going to have to just show you the steps that lead up to this point, and then we can go from there. So with your rounds, not this base piece, but this big one and this middle one, you need to sand the 2 edges. The top one, you only need to sand the bottom edge. We don't need to worry about this. And it's very simple. You can do these from trees in your backyard, trees you find, in forest or woods near you. I actually saw discs like these at the store the other day and about fell over because they had 4 in a package for $4. I thought, nope, I have 40 acres. I'll find something. So, and it's just a little circular motion. Let me switch hands because I'm right-handed. So it's just a little circular motion you're going to do. I'll try not to do it too much because it's a really annoying sound on camera. I've watched videos from other people where they've sanded and thought, ugh. So you just want to get it flat. Let's see, it's already starting to get flat. But I'll set this aside because that's what you're going to need. And then to glue them together, a trick that I learned actually working on miniature doll houses is to take wood glue. It doesn't have to be this brand, just wood glue. I don't want to tell you can use tacky glue because I haven't tried it, so I don't know. But wood glue and hot glue. And what you're going to do is you're going to put, and you can kind of see how the wood glue is still drying, you're going to put a strip of wood glue along the part where you've sanded, like a strip here, and then on either side a thin strip of hot glue. And what that's going to do is the hot glue is going to hold it in place so you don't have to, and give the wood glue time as more of a permanent hold for it. So that's how you glue those together, and you do the same thing when you attach them to the base. It's a strip of wood glue and then a strip of hot glue on either side, and that will hold them together, and it'll hold, the hot glue will hold it long enough for that wood glue to dry. So once you've gotten them to that point, and obviously as you can tell, this isn't completely dry, but you can start working on them because that hot glue is holding them together. So Mrs. Claus, and I'm only using, if you've watched any other videos of mine, I like to upcycle. And everything I'm using for all of these, even the ones that are up on the shelf up there, is all scraps, little pieces that were left over from other projects, or like this white that I'm using here was a terry cloth towel that I glue starched to make it firm. I had plans to use it in some of my doll houses, and it didn't work for what I wanted, so I just tossed it aside. But I think it made a pretty good beard for Santa. And I even took a little piece here. Let me flatten it out again. And kind of rounded it, and then made a little bump here, and then because it's so stiff, you can mold it a little bit. So I turned that up, and then this front edge I just bent a little bit, and when we're done, that's going to be Mrs. Claus' hair and her little bun. And I'll take a little piece of ribbon and make a little ribbon back there just to make her look even more adorable. So I'm going to put a skirt on her. I don't know, I just feel like Mrs. Claus would wear a skirt. And what I have here is a piece of wire-edged ribbon. And you don't have to use this. You can use any old piece of fabric you have. I just had it and thought it looked cute. And I've already put some hot glue on the edge to finish it off so it doesn't fray. You can use fray check, or if you have something that's not going to fray at all, use that. Whatever works. So I took the ribbon and I, picked one end that's going to be the top. Obviously, this is the bottom. You can pull the wire out of that, and I might when I'm all done with this, but for now I'm going to leave it in. I kind of like the fact that it gives it a shape. So when I work with wire edge ribbon, won't focus. I pull the wire out a little bit and bend it, and then I keep gathering it, and I just keep pulling it a little bit more and bending it more until I get the shape that I want. And then what I'm going to do is I'll use hot glue. All of this stuff is attached to my little snowman with hot glue. I tried the wood glue on one of the first ones I did, and it just, for me, did not seem to hold very well. I went back and recut the stuff and did it with hot glue, and it's held up ever since. So that's what I'm going to do with these. So I'm going to put a little bead of hot glue around here, and we're going to attach her skirt. So I have her skirt attached, and the best part about hot glue is it's already dry. Yay. And I can mold, bend, manipulate, that's the word, manipulate this bottom edge when this is all done to give it whatever kind of shape I want. And then I don't know about you guys, but I go to a lot of thrift stores, and I'm always pouring through their little, like craft section stuff, and they always have these little, like, grab bags of just random bits and pieces. And for me, when I do a lot of dollhouse work, I have found those to be incredibly helpful. So there was I've used some of it for other projects, but there was this crinkle ribbon stuff in a bag. And actually it had, I don't even know what these are, a whole handful of these little round plastic-y things. I don't know what they're for. I used one for Santa's belt buckle. So I've already cut it, if I can find it. Here it is. What I'm going to use for Mrs. Claus' shirt. And because it's crinkly, and because she's round, so there's not a lot of shape, I just cut out a spot for, her neck. So I'm going to glue it like that over her shoulder. And then I can pull it out and cover this whole round part. Like for Santa, I just used scraps of felt and just cut it, excuse me, just cut it to fit the round parts of him. And when you do that, if you want to do it that way, I hold it up to him and then go from the back side and take a little pen and trace it, and then it's easier to cut rather than trying to trace it and then worry about did you get marker on your felt that you're going to see. So I'm going to go ahead and glue her top on. Whoopsie, except for it's upside down. There we go. And then we will go on to the next step. Okay, here's a little tip that I learned when dealing with hot glue, because inevitably I burn my fingertips. If you just take a popsicle stick, obviously you can see I use mine quite a bit. Probably should trade it in for a new one eventually. But that will allow you to hold that in place and not burn your fingers. There we go. So we have a top, we have a bottom. Now I want some, I guess continuity would be the right word, from Mrs. and Mr. So I'm going to take these little round parts. I think I'm just going to put them at her shoulder. Just kind of give the illusion of like a brooch. Maybe if I... Ugh. Stringy hot glue stuck to my hand. Let's see, we're just going to do little dabs. Here. And right here. Sorry, I keep moving this with me, sorry. There's that. And that. Now I think, I don't know why, but I kind of want a little black belt like he does on her. Obviously you can do this however you want. Question is, do I still have some felt? I do. Alright. There we go. Just a little piece of felt. I always have black felt on hand. Now I think I put this, whoopsie, not left-handed. I'm going to put this on like this and give her some hair. There we go. She's got her little hair on. And I kept a little, this shirt I had trimmed down. So I kept that little piece. And I think I'm going to figure out a way to cut just a little tiny bit off of it. Keep that crinkle to it. Try and get a little bow right there on her bun, where her hair meets the bun. Let's see if I can do that. Alrighty, it's on there. I think she looks pretty good. So when I do their face, him I attempted to use some chalk pastels, give him little rosy cheeks. You can tell this side, the wood really absorbed it, and this side not so much. I'm going to let it dry for another day, because I just finished him before I started recording. So I'm going to let it dry another day and see if it absorbs it a little more. But for all of their faces, and we'll do it with her, I just used, let me grab them. I used the blue for the eyes. Red for the mouth. And a black for the nose. Actually, I think for him I used a red nose. I might give her a red nose too. Let's see. It's kind of cold, you know. At least where I'm at, it's cold. Or in northern Michigan, it's really cold right now. So the thing I like about these markers on this wood is I can do just a real thin line and it bleeds out a little bit. So you can get a little bit more, I guess, look from them. They don't look quite so just line. Because I'm not that artistic to draw all that kind of face on there. So let me draw that on there and then we'll see how that goes. And I still have this piece right here. I'm going to try and make a little bag for Santa. That's what this is over here for as well. Alright, I'm going to try and do this and hold it so you can see it and I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to put Mrs. Claus Eyes right here. And see how that kind of expands all on its own. Whoopsie, and then I have a little oops like that. That's okay. Not a big deal. In the words of Bob Ross, it's a happy accident. And then I've been just doing a little heart-shaped nose. I don't know. I know snowmen normally have carrot noses, but I don't know. I guess this batch I wanted to have hearts. And it's just two little lines. Oops, maybe. Except for I'm doing this all kinds of messed up. Let me pause this while I fix this. Little white acrylic paint. And it's still drying, but you can tell up at the top part. It's way brighter on camera than it is in person. At the top part, it's already starting to dry. But there we have Mrs. Claus. Snowman. Now, Mr. Claus over here, I have another piece of that wire-edged ribbon. Goodness gracious, listen to me. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue this edge and this edge to just below where the wire is. And that'll give me the ability to tighten that down, to gather that up. So let me do that. Use our little popsicle stick to press that down. Now, don't worry about my fingers getting burnt. And it'll just peel off of that. Come down and press. Maybe if my sleeve doesn't catch it, we'll come down and press the lower edge. There we go. There. And it's all dry. So we're going to take these two wires at the top. I mean, it's one long wire, but the two ends of it. And we're going to work them out. It's already started. I'm going to gather this up. So I have it all gathered up and I'm holding on to the end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little hot glue in that edge right there and use my popsicle stick to press it together until it holds its shape, and then I can pull these wires out. Oops. Once I hot glued this, I couldn't get the wires out, so I just snipped the edges off. And then I have some cording left over. If you watched my Silver Bells, those. I still had a little bit of that cording left. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to run a strip of hot wire. Good gravy. Hot glue. Can you tell I have a farm? A strip of hot glue up here. Basically just make a little cord that I can kind of attach to Santa here so his sack can just sit. Like that. Yeah, maybe not like that. Probably more like this. Or, I don't know. Here? I could do it like that and actually just attach it to him also. Let's see what I do. All right. So, it took me a little bit, but what I ended up doing, if I can get this to move, is I took this cord and on the yucky edge that we had glued together, I put the two ends there and glued it to this. And then I glued the bag to the back side of it. So when you're looking at the front, you just see a little bit of it. And then there's the cord attached to them. So there's Mr. and Mrs. Claus. I hope this video helped you or inspired you really, to upcycle. Make something cute with all your little odd and ends. I don't know if I did this in the beginning of the video, but maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'm a little farmer. I don't know, just had little scraps of whatever, so that's what I made. They're my sewing room buddies. One of the things I don't think I brought up in this video, I know the first one I tried shooting, I talked about it, and I don't think I did in this one. One of the things that I do, as far as for crafting and upcycling both, is, and you can see I've used this quite a bit, is old cookie sheets. I find them at thrift stores literally for about $1. And I've got 5, 6, 8 of them floating around, and I can cut on them, I can hot glue on them, I can paint on them. I've got one that I don't do very much work with polymer clay or any kind of clay, but when I do it, I use that one because then I can work on it and put it right in the oven, and I don't have to buy anything fancy or move anything. Or so yeah, check out like your little community thrift stores. That's where I find a lot of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you make some little snowmen of your own. And the next video I hope to get uploaded will be making a miniature dollhouse Christmas tree. So I will talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.